Hey, I'm kind of tired actually. Um, actually very tired. I've been doing a lot of research. I mean, a lot of research. Since my mom died, I guess I got a little fanatical. Um, when I touch things, I can be a little fanatical. I don't mean to be. I try to use wisdom and just try to decide on if something's even worth the 10, 5 years or whatever it costs to get to the end result. But sometimes wisdom doesn't even kick in and I just go off and I'm on my way. So um, sometimes that's good and bad though. But I say all that to say this. I was told to get on and talk about a few things as far as financing. I haven't gotten on in a long time talking about stocks and crypto and financing and things like that. But I've been told to go ahead and get on. So I'm getting on. All right, so here it is. Um, I guess today I can celebrate. It's a very small milestone, but I got my first two stocks at $100 a piece at 100%, which is most important. I have seven portfolios now. I had six. I have seven now, and the one portfolio I'm talking about, I have more than 150 assets that I own on that portfolio, and I have about 20 ETFs that I own on that portfolio. And out of about 150, maybe 170, between 150 170 plays, because some don't make my cut. And like I said, I've been doing lots and lots of research. I'm already, I guess, kind of gifted with knowing a lot because I denounce physical. And in order to denounce physical, you had to have come to some type of conclusion with knowing or intel or information or recon or whatever you want to call it. Um, I don't think intelligence is all it's cracked up to be. I think it's just gathering information and probably more or less patience than anything. Depending on what medium you gather your intelligence from. Um, I think again, what's more important is wisdom, and even what's more important than that is gifted things like spiritual gifts like clairvoyance, intuition. Being an oracle shaman. Not shaman, but an oracle psychic. Uh, people like that. People who can see in different light spectrums, different. Um, People like that. Those are gifted. I think those things are a little bit more than just having intel or wisdom. But I have a lot of intel on a lot of different things, and that started when I was young. I love learning. I used to fight with the spirit when I was young, so it forced me to understand things that I can't see, taste, touch, or feel, which is places where there's no time or space, um, like spirit, for example. And so I have even an understanding of that, and even coming to a point in my life where I can actually say I mastered or beat it, or not mastered it, because I don't think you'll ever master spirit without actually being there and only there, not sharing it here. Um, but and a lot of these things, I know it sounds a little weird, but there's things like gematria, numerology, and sacred geometry, colors, sound, things like that is what makes up this physical place. And it takes a lot of learning to get to that point of knowledge or knowing. And once you've gotten to that point, it's safe to say that you'll probably be able to predict some things. And if you also have a gift with going to a place where there's no time and space, and that's always helped you out in life, then that would also be your gift with, being able to, predicting things. And I guess I've proven to be pretty good at it. I knew I probably would be good at this if I'd started it a long time ago, but I guess my loyalty to the Lord, even with now having nowhere near the knowledge I have now, even at a young age, I swore my allegiance not to worship money, which is an allegiance that I pretty much carried all my life. And even when I came close to having a lot of money, or when I did have a lot of money and came close to almost worshiping money, or over respecting money, I felt very regretful and promised I'd never go back there. So I don't know, I guess the reason why I never really tried to master financing is because of my loyalty to the Spirit, I guess, to be honest with you. And, understanding what sex, drugs, money, guns is, and their role, religion, women, all these roles is here in this matrix. And, trying to decode it all and trying to find a way to, I guess, escape or ascend, if some people would call it. But one of the smaller things out of all of that is financing. And the ability to not have to worry about money, or the ability to master managing money, the ability to understand mathematics or growth in a certain way, or I guess exponential growth in a certain way, and changing your mindset from trying to gather income versus passive income, for example, or maybe gathering income versus capital gains, or net worth, and these are normally not things that my type of people know. I've been like I said, I've always been intelligent, always talked a little different from my background. If you listen to my brother talk, you'd be like, damn, they can't be related. I can't even understand my brother saying half the time, and I was raised with him. His bondage is so deep. But me, I chose a different path even at a young age, because I got good at sports. I went off to college because of sports. And had it not been from sports, to be honest with you, I probably would be speaking just like my brother, acting like my brother, and doing a lot just like my brother. But I got lucky. I guess those white coaches, they seen something in me. My clique, they seen something in me. 2900, LBC, they seen something in me. And, when we all went out for the teams and all, they all supported me. When everybody else pretty much gave up, they still supported me. So, and that in turn gave me a lifestyle understanding that I probably would have never gotten, because I would have never gotten it from them, obviously. So, even back in high school, they were like, damn, man, why you talk so different from everybody else? It's because I practiced over and over and over again to not talk white like, some people, but to talk right, or to talk proper, even though everybody around me is talking with, strong Ebonics. I can speak patois. I can speak niggerish here from Baltimore, but at the same time, I tried real hard growing up to learn how to talk. My coma alone, I had to learn how to walk, I had to learn how to talk, I had to learn how to eat, and all that over again. So, training my brain was something kind of simple for me. Not simple, but I had a lot of practice with it by the time I made it to like middle school, high school. I say all that to say this. I know a lot, I guess I can say. I've been told by lots of people I know a lot, across a lot of different spectrums. And I know it sounds like, bragging. I'm definitely not bragging. I'm very humble. I don't brag. Like I said, intel is not all it's cracked up to be. Having other things is much more important. But one thing that having intel does is it, especially when you have extreme intel, like knowing about these guys and how they move and how ritual they are. Noticing that they all share some things in common, like they're all, cabal believers. They all believe in mysticism. They believe in things like gematria. rituals and numerology and your birth date and time and codes. And I mean, these guys are so damn good. They can ask you what your birth date and time and tell you when you're gonna die. And that's before the advent of quantum. So I know it sounds crazy, but when I try to teach poor people like myself, welfare restricted, drug affected, prison restricted, whatever, when I try to teach us exponential growth, which is something that we not supposed to be learning, um, it goes back to turning the system upside down, whether you know it or not. Some things are illegal, like boycotting is illegal. So if I start a network of all spenders spending amongst ourselves and buying amongst ourselves, in essence, I'm boycotting, and that's illegal. And I can guarantee I'll probably die in the long run, or I'll probably get in prison for something stupid like IRS or something in the long run because of the damage that I'm putting on the economy. So I say all that to say this. When I try to teach this information, I turn the system upside down. I know exactly what I'm doing. I don't mean to, but I have to. I don't have a responsibility because the numbers are so outweighed that the ratio makes the whole system insignificant or irrelevant or voidable, or it shouldn't even be here based on the numbers. Like if you got 10% of people owning everything, then the system shouldn't even exist. That shows failure in its own. So with that being said, if I can teach people how to exponentially grow their wealth one family at a time, and those families make a promise that, hey, it's my responsibility to let everybody know what he's letting everybody know, and that is that he hates money. He hates physical. He's just teaching you how to master physical. Now that you got physical mastered and money mastered, you can go around and put, out the Lord's word, the work, and put in work. You can go talk for the spiritual reason why you were put here, and not get so distracted with the physical, because money's not of an issue. You're not distracted by accumulating money comes with ease. And so when I turn the system upside down, I turn it upside down in other ways as well, because in essence, whether you know it or not, I'm actually making, instead of us going work for the system and all the millionaires and billionaires who owns all the wealth, you're actually making those guys work for you. Those guys get the gray hair, they get all the stress because they have to meet these numbers. And these guys don't play about meeting numbers. They're very ritualistic. Like I said, they meet numbers by certain dates, and they mean that shit. Because it goes into spirit, moons, astrology. These guys believe in all that shit. They really mean that. When they give a date, they mean that. So the very ritualistic people, all of them, they share it all in common. All the millionaires, billionaires, and trillionaires. Well, just about millionaires, but all the billionaires and trillionaires, they share one thing in common. Another thing the trillionaires share in common, because there's so few less than trillionaires, remember I said it, even though it's off the subject, they're not human. Remember, I told you. And I say it all the time, but anyway, we'll know in the future. In due time, we'll know. It will be nothing to know. But anyway, back to the subject. So anyway, I turn the system upside down, simply meaning that when these executive officers, when they go in, or when they are, and they're spending their time, their energy, or their motivational skills that they've mastered in their life to motivate their business or to grow their business, while I lay home and rest, then I'm in essence doing what they're doing. I'm laying home and resting while the other people out there putting those numbers up so that us shareholders benefit. So in other words, what I'm doing is simply putting my money where my mouth is. If I think that I have a lot of knowledge, or if I think my knowledge is fit, then I'll just go ahead and throw my money there. And after doing some research, and if my knowledge was right, or if it was easy for me, then I should be able to grow that money faster than Warren Buffett, for example. I have to, because I have way less than Warren Buffett. So, and that's my responsibility. My responsibility is to teach a poor person how to take $10 and exponentially grow it. Just that simple. Put a zero in behind it. So when I started out this video, and I said to you guys, I said, right now I'm celebrating $100 at 100%. It's not the $100 that I'm concerned with. It could have been $10 at 100%. The 100% more is what I'm concerned with. Because when you understand mathematics and simple laws of growth and exponential growth and things like that, then you understand, that you're still putting a zero behind it. So whether I put that $10 into 10 stocks, or whether I put $100 in one stock, and if they all grow, put a zero behind it, I'm pretty much essentially still ending up with the same number. But I do have an increase in, I guess, opportunity into growing, past that zero, if you will. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to say what I'm trying to say, I guess. But I have, like, for example, I have over 150 assets in one portfolio out of 7 portfolios. And out of the 150 assets, not including ETFs, like I said, I only have 2 of those assets that are at $100 and over 100%. And that is the reason why I'm celebrating, and one of the reasons why I'm putting out this video, because my effort is to get one asset to $1,000. That's my next effort. One asset to $1,000 at 1,000%. And it may be years before I'll celebrate that. But there's a lot of, I guess, if you will, magic behind even being able to, say something like that. This is it's so outlandish. But that's my effort. And if I'm proven to be right, then the only thing I can say for myself is I'm sure I broke a lot of records and I'm a bad motherfucker. That's all I can say. And I mean, I'm talking about broke lots of records, probably even break some records that Quantum probably won't be able to break for a while. And that would say a lot of things about, miraculous time and placing. Yes. What I'm doing as a result of all this is I'm thinking of some kind of way setting out of an app where I put out my plays, on a continuous basis, and exactly how far I've gone in the play and what I expect from the play, and more importantly, maybe a play that's relevant, maybe a play that's in the same industry, but with a lower market cap for you to repeat the same thing I've just done with that particular stock. Pretty much doing all the work for you. And that's exclusively for the people who've been following me since day one, since my journey. I'm also going to put out a video showing all 150 assets. Exactly. I've already put out that video, but I'll put out another one in specific detail on all 150 assets, and also bring it to paper. Each asset to paper, and background, financials, and all to paper, and try to take this to another level, maybe even nonprofit level next. I've been doing a lot of creating, y'all. I'm so exhausted. I don't know if anybody noticed, but I think I'm creating like a new page or group like every week or something. I don't know what the hell's going on with me, but I'm exhausted. I do other things too besides this social media stuff, like things in the real world or whatever. But the social media is draining the hell out of me. The real world kind of drains me. My family's kind of draining me, loved ones or whatever. Memories drain me, but things like this is what keeps me moving, keeps me positive, keeps my vibe high, and keeps me, looking forward to something. So, like I said, I started this about 5 years ago. It's a 10-year journey, originally speaking. I'm sure it's going to go on for a lot longer than 10 years, but we'll see how far I get in 10 years. I guess I've been in it for 5 years now, almost 5 years now. And I started this in January 2021. And I guess you could say 5 years as of this January. And like I said, on the 4th year, I guess you could say, or 4 years and some change, I'm celebrating my first stock, $100, 100%. And I have 2 of them there, and I'm very proud of myself. Working on, again, $1,000 on, 1,000%, which would be super, super astronomical. And I can guarantee you, by the time I've gotten to that point, as far as the other 148 or 50 stocks if I stop buying now, and I'm not. But as far as the other 150 assets in that one portfolio alone, if I made it to $1,000 at 1,000% on one of the assets, then I can guarantee you I've made it to hundreds and 200s and 300s and 400s and 500% on all the other assets as well. Because of my main focal point and, my focus when I buy these stocks, what I'm aiming for and what I'm shooting for, and, how my style of purchasing and the industries and type of plays that I'm, purchasing in this particular time slot that we're in up to year, let's say 2050. I guess to say it is, it would be like buying Facebook's in the beta, Amazon in the beta, Tesla in their beta stages, multiplied by 150 companies. I can only imagine when I die, let's say I die 40 years from now, I can only imagine, even if I stop right now, what my portfolio will be worth. Because my basis of all this is more time than anything. Because again, that's my basis of why I originated all this is time. All this comes back to time. Me being Sensi energy, vibration, frequency, energy, time cartel. Compressing time is the effort, compressing time. So if all works well, and if anybody's following me or mimicking anything that I'm doing, God bless your soul. I'm moved by something right now that's unearthly. You can either believe me or not. I try to do things like prove it, like playing with fire and controlling things with my energy. And hopefully in the future, if I'm blessed and I earn my divinity,